Welcome back to the FT's coverage of the World Economic Forum here in Tianjin in China. I'm now talking to Simon Henry, who's the Chief Financial Officer of Shell, one of the world's largest oil and gas groups. Simon, could you tell us first of all why China is so important to Shell, and in particular about the ventures you are developing with Petro China?
Well, thank you for the question. Of course, China's energy market is growing so quickly, it is vital for all oil and gas companies to be part of it, to understand it and to understand the impact. We've been here for quite some time in terms of our marketing activities, what we do in petrochemicals, retail, lubricants, but we've been also progressing our upstream activities, our production, gas production, and in particular our relationship with Petro China that will potentially open up new opportunities. Now, we do have some exploration opportunities with Petro China in gas, and we're looking forward to drilling those in the next few months to see what we have here. This is part of a broader relationship with Petro China, where we have entered into an agreement to acquire an Australian company, Arrow Energy, for $3.5 billion Australian dollars, and that was successfully completed in August. And we look forward to what could be a very significant ongoing forward investment program with Petro China, where we develop gas that will actually largely be exported back to China and help build our relationship out over the long term.
Mm-hmm. So you don't share those complaints of foreign multinationals who said that doing business in China is really difficult and maybe not worth it?
I think so far our experience has been it's not always easy, but building on relationships, you would do one step at a time. You learn to trust each other, operational capabilities, the way we govern a venture, the way we make decisions, and that trust builds over time, and taking little steps enables you to think about and talk about and try and find bigger steps. And I think it's very important that there is a mutual respect, that there is a transfer of, for example, technology and operational capability from the international company, and that Petro China brings its very significant strengths as well in terms of their capabilities, and we can build something together, but only if there is that mutual respect and willingness to trade capabilities.
Mm-hmm. There's great interest, as always, in what the oil price might do next. Sitting from where you are, where do you see it going?
Well, it's a good question, of course, with OPEC meeting this week, but what we've seen over the past 18 months is OPEC is able to manage the price in the $70 to $80 range. While that might not be what all customers want, it's also not had a major impact at the macroeconomic level either. So with the level of spare capacity and investment that's going on, absent a double dip, that range is where we would expect the price to stay in the near future.
One of your great competitors, BP, has of course had a tragic and disastrous spill and explosion in the Gulf of Mexico. What lessons has Shell learnt from this incident?
It was, of course, a very, very tragic incident with 11 people losing their lives, so we must not lose sight of that. All safety incidents happening in the industry we do take lessons from. This one in particular, I think there are still quite a lot of facts to come out. The blowout preventer, for example, needs some investigation, so it's a little early to draw full conclusions. But one of the main lessons we've learned, I think, is the importance of the regulatory regime in Europe, and in particular what's called the safety case within that. The safety case requires, before we start a well, with every well being different, for an agreement between the operator Shell and the contractors, the rig operators, the service companies and the regulator that enables us to identify the hazards, agree how they'll be managed, where are the risks, how do we make decisions, who's accountable. And that safety case is different for each well, but has proved, we think, a very effective way of managing the risks that are inherent in any drilling program. Now, that is not actually required in the United States, but it is applied by some operators there, and it's clear to us how important this is in an approach, and how much more effective we think it is than a prescriptive rule-based system, because it simply is not possible to write a list of rules that apply for every well.
Mm-hmm. So you think perhaps the US should introduce such a European-style system?
I hope, and obviously they're thinking about their regulatory developments, I hope that they will be looking carefully at what happens in Norway, in the UK, and in the Netherlands, and particularly the use of the safety case, because we think it forces the right discussion, the right risk analysis and the right risk management as the well is being drilled.
Simon, thank you very much.
Thank you.